Are we good? Are we live right now? We are live right now. Okay, great. Hi,
Heck
everyone.
yeah.
Oh, what a start to the week, of course. High energy to get us going.
Yes,
It's
sir.
Tuesday, May 12th. It's the marketing news. It's a live show. It's the marketing news show you deserve. It's breaking and entering show. Gino, how you doing?
Doing well, Jack. I'll be in the YouTube here monitoring the chat.
Oh, welcome. I've been in the YouTube.
I'm monitoring now. I might actually comment in it as well, but it's going to be a great episode today. I think we're kicking off pretty fast here with our first guest. What do we need to know, Jack?
Well, Eli Lilly and Wieden+Kennedy have been working together for the last few months. You saw it with the Winter Olympics, the never finished, never over work, comparing the scientific method to training for the Olympics. And then they come back to us with an incredible ad here with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, Eli Lilly, talking about how exercise is the best preventative medicine. And I think I'm very interested in this stuff because of the way that they're positioning the pharmaceutical company, Gino.
Yep, they have a new positioning here. It looks amazing. It looks kind of like Nike to me, Jack. It's giving me Nike.
Wieden.
And that could be because of the agency, Wieden, that's working on it. Long-time Nike agency for 40 plus years. I've been working on that Nike account. But bringing in Caitlin Clark, new positioning, Jack. What do we need to do?
Well, Lina Polimeni is going to join us. She's the SVP and CMO for consumer at Eli Lilly. But before that, let's show the spots, huh, Ross?
Yeah, let's show the
do it.
spot.
Let's show the spot.
People think it's like you're good at something, or you're not. But really, you set a goal and you show up. Everybody's day one looks different. And every day is day one. But if you wait to feel ready, you're never gonna start. You let yourself be bad at it. And then you look up one day and you're like, oh, I can do this now. So start somewhere. Start anywhere. Just start how you can.
There we go. Let's bring her in. Lina, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys? This is a place to be. I'm excited about this one.
Oh, we're excited too. I mean, we just watched the spot. We just watched Caitlin Clark shooting threes. We watched people exercise. When you first saw this spot, and now that it's out in the world, how do you feel about it?
Well, I've been in the making of this spot for a long time. So the first time I saw it was probably, on set. But we're very proud of the spot. And I think, the thing that's the most impactful to me is the ability to bring Caitlin in a different light and to have a message that's about what all of us can do. So I'm really excited about not just the spot, but I can see having an impact right away. I was just getting some data this morning, even just over the last couple of days of the weekend that has been up and running. We already had 6 million impressions and just like a ton of really great feedback around the spot. So just really exciting.
It's so clean. Congrats on the launch. It looks amazing too. So I want to back things up and understand a little bit about the brand and how this all came to be. I saw that the Lilly banner was on the New York Stock Exchange. We were out in Wall Street here. I walked past that. Maybe we can get into that later.
Yeah.
But what's going on with the brand for this moment? We saw it with the Winter Olympics. We're seeing this next iteration of the campaign. What's the brief right now when you're working with Wieden+Kennedy? What are you consistently asking them?
Yeah. The brief always starts from what would a medicine company do in whatever situation we're starting to look at. So I would say all the things that you have just mentioned, those are just, kind of the latest execution and the latest appearance of work that has been 5 years in the making. And what that has been a true repositioning of the company. One of the biggest frustration that I've had, having been at Lilly for so long, is that the inside wasn't matching what I was seeing about the brand externally, and just how badly pharmaceutical creative was in general. I've never been convinced that this needs to be a place where bad creative exists. And so we've had this, this into the works for a long time. And part of what you're referring to is really this belief system that we have as a brand of health above all. And so that is really the leitmotif across all the campaigns that we do. And, never over for the Olympics was specific to the Olympics moment, but it's also a huge moment for the company itself right now and for the brand this week, actually, specifically. And this is why you've seen some of those banners by the New York Stock Exchange. This week is the company 150th anniversary. So we're celebrating 150 years of Eli Lilly and Company and the mission of the company this year, which is also what has inspired 150 years of everything else, which is the current master brand campaign that's out as well. And then, we continue to bring proof points to the belief of health above all through different ways in, and the ad with Caitlin is one of them, which is really about the power of exercise before you ever even need any medicine.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know, like you see this and you're used to a certain brand of advertising when it comes to pharmaceutical companies. And I think that for me, I would ask you, coming into this role and thinking about where you want Eli Lilly to sit, it just feels different. Am I just missing different pharmaceutical companies and their campaigns, or do you feel the same way where you're kind of doing something that is drastically different than how it's been done in the past by competitors?
It is drastically different. I mean, the ambition is very different. And the ambition is very simply to make Lilly a brand that people love and trust, full stop. I do not want to be the best brand in the pharmaceutical category. I want to be a great brand. And, I love being on this type of programs with you guys because I can actually speak about marketing and not just the brand. But I want to just make great campaigns and great marketing, and that has to transcend the category. I have no interest in managing the category specifically, and I want to create brands that are iconic. And part of that is to find a positioning that is true to people and that is anchored in very deeply true human truths. And I think that's what you're feeling is different about the brand. It's creating a platform that is strategic before it becomes executional. And then the execution of that platform is one, I have a very high bar for the type of visual language and creative that we want to create for the Lilly brand. And two, it has to be staying true to the human reality of the brand, but also of the category that we do operate in, which is not just pharmaceutical, but it's your health in general. One of the things is you say specifically about the creative, and it feels different, yes, but I also feel like the category in and of itself, I never understood why not only we have such bad creative in pharma in general, but it's almost like it's been iconically bad over the years. When you think about
it's like known for it's been memed and like spoofed to infinity. I feel like every single week on SNL they do another spoof of a pharma ad. But continue, because it's true.
And why? So for me, when you work in this arena, you spend so much time in market research with people and patients, and you get to understand that what illness takes away from you is not just the physical abilities, your hopes, is your dreams, is your perception of what your future looks like. And so by corollary of that, the power of what a medicine can do, and having seen scientists dedicate their whole entire career to a molecule because of what that molecule could give back to people, I felt like that was just such a huge miss in advertising, because that's the real story, that's the brand. And so I think that's what you're seeing is it's definitely a desire to look different. I'm not going to hide that. I have no interest in being just a slightly better creative within the category. I want to create a really big brand because I think and I feel that the ambition of the company and the brand is worthy of that. Yeah. And so I want to create a brand that delivers on that.
Well, that's why I want to kind of set the distinction, the differentiation here between the brand of Eli Lilly, which you're doing a great job pushing further, and like the crappier individual like medication commercials. Yeah. The fact that you're even doing a brand campaign for the umbrella system here, I don't think I've seen that with the competitors. At least none of them have caught my eye. So I think that's why we're applauding you so well right now. And also selecting one of the best ad agencies with Wieden+Kennedy. When did you start working with them on this campaign?
About 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, it's been an evolution of campaigns. I would say, funny story. I always say this story. They know I tell the story. I had to reverse pitch Wieden+Kennedy 3 times before they say yes to me 5 years ago. When we decided to do a Lilly brand campaign, it was the first Tokyo Olympics. It was the first time we were going to have a sponsorship of the Olympics. And so in the same breath, I wanted to make sure that athletes could speak about the actual medicines, which had never been done in pharma before, and now we're able to do. But I also felt like, especially, after COVID and after health being in the forefront of everybody's mind, I wanted to have a higher point of view, and I wanted to have this Lilly perspective and brand. And at the time, when we were having internal conversation, I said, there's only one agency that can do this and only one agency I will do it with. And that was Wieden+Kennedy. And I didn't know them. I didn't have, any contact with them. The Thank You Mom campaign was really the proxy for me, because
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was so genius to not just have this overarching campaign for Procter & Gamble, which, to your point, they sell products just like we sell products. But what was so unique and powerful for me was like, this was grounded into the human inside of the mom. And no one had thought about it that way.
Right.
Nobody. And so I asked somebody to introduce me to somebody at Nike that didn't know me, asked the favor, got the number of the president of Wieden+Kennedy at the time. And I called him, gave him a whole entire pitch. And he listened to me for about 10 minutes. And then he was like, I think what you're trying to do in the category is remarkable and is so much needed. And we will not do it with you. And so that was the first, because they just didn't want to, tie themselves with pharma. Because again, pharma is iconically bad. Why would you want to do that? And then it took, 2 more calls and a lot of more convincing on my end. So I started working with them about 5 years ago. And, it's not just Wieden+Kennedy. I think within Wieden, we always joke that we're kind of like the original group of pirates that started this, but it is such a unique partnership. I don't think this is a client agency type of relationship. We are a team that is really, really committed to make sure that this brand expresses the actual work of what people do at Lilly, which is, making medicines for people's lives to be better. And we're all equally committed to bring this to life in a way that's, different and that is powerful. And I would say, and I say this as the highest compliment I can pay them. I've said this about Derek and Pierre specifically. This is the only agency that has no fear to come into a creative review with me and just argue with me, toe to toe, and win the argument afterwards. So it's been a really incredible partnership.
I mean, you asked for it. You literally asked
Yeah.
for it. This is what you.
That's
come
what you
for.
want. That's what you want.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's such a great. We're working on this too. Derek and Pierre are incredible award-winning creatives, the ECDs on it. And then I wanted to ask, like, just internally, like getting the Eli Lilly organization to buy in to the idea that this matters, this is important. Pharma is kind of weird. There's so much regulation, of course. Perception, like sentiment is always kind of, can be polarizing at times. But getting the Eli Lilly organization to buy in to the fact that brand building and being at kind of the forefront of health and wellness was important. Lina, was that difficult? Was it something that happened over a long period of time? I would just love to hear about that.
It had its ups and downs at the beginning. I would say it's not because of the idea of the branding per se. It's just, within a broad organization, there's always resistance to change. And this was new. And I think at times at the very, very beginning, it was maybe felt like a necessary risk. Why would we do it? We can just, advertise the products. That's going well. It seemed like an unnecessary risk. I think doing that at the beginning with the Olympics really helped sell that in also, because, the Olympics are just there is such a thing as the Olympic spirit everywhere. And there's such a unifying moment. When we came out with the Tokyo Olympics, it also happened to be the first time the world was coming back together after COVID. So I think that helped, selling that in at the beginning. And then, we measure the perception of Lilly, the trust, the awareness. There's also the fact, which I think was a deciding factor, that when people didn't know who we were, that was the initial brief I gave the agency too, is people don't know who we are, and I think they should. And we were lumped when they thought they knew who we were. People didn't know the name Lilly before, even though we've been around for 150 years. And when they thought they knew us, they just lumped us with pharma, and pharma is evil. And that was such a dissonant experience compared to the dedication that scientists and people in manufacturing put into making these medicines. So, I think getting people to understand the higher purpose of this, not just the marketing purpose, and really being able to create something that is a brand in its own right, but at the same time represents the true spirit of people that work at Lilly. I think that has been kind of the magic into getting everyone on board.
That's amazing.
It's working.
Fantastic. Lina, congratulations on the great work. Before we let you go, we got to ask for a scoop, of course. Can we expect more Eli Lilly work in the near future, like the work that we're seeing now?
Yes, that's the short answer.
Beautiful. That's all. I'll take that as a scoop, Gino. Lina, would you count that as a scoop?
Would I count this as a scoop? No, because of course you're going to expect great work from us.
We'll expect more from Caitlin Clark.
More
Gino asked, he went a little bit further.
Can we expect more from Caitlin Clark?
Caitlin Clark and Lily, we have a partnership that's that's obviously this campaign is the most visible face of that, but we have definitely a deeper partnership. What I love about the partnership with Caitlin is two things. One is when we had this concept, and we talked to her about this. This is something actually she mentioned to me just before we even started working on anything. She really believes in the importance of health and healthy living and nutrition and movement, beyond everything, which I think is what makes this campaign so powerful, because
it's so spot on.
It's spot on. And it's also, I think, as marketers and advertiser, I think a lot of us make a mistake to look at athletes as billboards. And the second you walk away from looking at them as billboards and actually, if you feel strongly that you've created a strong brand, and I think we're well on our way to do that, you can actually hand the brand to a partner like Caitlin and actually make something together is way more meaningful because it's a common shared belief. So I would say because of that, there's much more than we'll be collaborating on. And I think there's, if you are going to follow some of our 150th anniversary news, you'll perhaps see more of the stuff that we'll do together that's actually more impactful of the community.
Love that. Well, we're really excited to see
Thank you
it.
so much.
Love it. Lina, congrats again. Eli Lilly, great work with Wieden+Kennedy. We'll talk to you very soon.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
Take care.
Lina, I was going to bring this up. The one thing I'll say before we move into the 2-minute drill, the world famous 2-minute drill, Wieden, I'm thinking about the Ford, the Ford Cade Cunningham work with the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
They show him with his father.
Yes.
And then you were talking about the thank you, mom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Those, I just was thinking about that.
Yeah,
we're bringing in the parents, getting the parents involved.
Get them in.
Well, it's the easiest way to humanize someone is to bring in the person that raised them.
I was seeing the connection between P&G umbrella brand, Ford umbrella brand, now Lilly umbrella brand.
Yeah.
If you got a large organization, Wieden might be a shop to consider.
I know. Do you think that we'll be able to now, like Eli Lilly drugs, we'll see how it filters down? Like when they are advertising the drugs.
Yeah.
Can you have it filtered down?
Yeah, it's got to.
Let's move into the 2-minute drill.
Why not? Why not?
Let's do it.
Let's
do it. Come on. It's world famous.
good one here.
It's the topics you need to know for the day. 2 minutes each. Let's get into it. WPP U.S. President steps down. Gino, can you kick us off?
Michael Houston steps down as U.S. President here. Quote from Sidney Rose, give or take, pretty much said here, it was a natural and planned evolution as our operating model continues to evolve.
Doo-doo-doom. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so he was there for 24 years at WPP, Jack, so we got to give him some love there. Wishing him all the best in his next thing here. One thing I thought I saw, they're not backfilling the role.
Right. Okay, so this makes sense.
Yes.
Clearly this is part of a bigger strategy, and I think you time it up with the fact that this guy's been there for 24 years. He's probably like, I don't know, whatever he does next, I'm sure he's looking for a reason to kind of chill out, but I'm speculating right now.
Sharb the Barb Farajani, remember our guy here? He exited as WPP's media's president or CEO, so it seems like those heads of the individual organizations might be,
yeah, and
I don't know,
president of US, is that a position that under the new structure of WPP where they're really trying to simplify it? It's like, do we need that position? I mean, they probably kind of planned that out. I'm sure, and you wouldn't say though in a quote like it was a mutual breakup, unless it was, because it could very easily he could just be like, no, it wasn't, and now you're like, okay, that's weird.
For
like
sure.
When you break up with a girl, or a girl in most cases breaks up with you, if one person says it's a mutual breakup, the other person immediately would be like, no, it wasn't. You broke up with me.
Right.
So it sounds like it was actually mutual.
Have you ever been broken up with, and did she say it was mutual and it wasn't mutual?
No.
Okay. So there we go. We solved
It's
it.
usually a situation where they are more than happy to announce that they have shed me from their life. It always goes that way.
No.
How about you? You?
No. So we're on the same page.
That's right. Come on now.
Give
me some.
Okay.
All right.
Wishing you all the best, Michael.
WPP in the midst. Elevate 28. Never forget Elevate 28 for WPP. Let's talk about the upfront news. Gino, TV upfronts is a topic that we know nothing about.
No, but
we're going to talk about it.
Listen, NBCU, Netflix, Fox, and Amazon here are all basically presenting to potential advertisers to spend their money on their platforms. So they want to get it all, Jack. And there are some themes. There's some through lines here. We could probably just workshop this together.
Yeah, what do you think? Like the TV is weird, linear TV is in a pinch point, and they're all kind of, the whole point of this is to pretty much prove that like we have the best audience, and we have the best data and the best tech, and we have the best ad tech network and way of getting you in front of this audience. Is that wrong?
No, that's exactly right, Jack. If you look at all of these upfronts, what they're planning, they're happening this week, ladies and gentlemen. It's about live sports. It's that they have AI and ad tech, agentic AI that you can actually buy media on to make it easier for you.
Yeah, the agent buys the media for you.
Yes, exactly. Making it easier. And then the other thing is IP of their own, like their new branded entertainment, their new sorry, not branded entertainment, just their new shows that they're launching.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw James Corden is doing a new show. So like the differentiator between all these upfronts is like which big celebrity can you get to show up to your upfronts to sing 3 songs and leave?
Yeah, and Amazon, I think by far had the most celebs at their upfronts. Their event.
Was
their pitch
Bezos
event.
there?
Doubt it. I don't think so. No.
Wait, did they have Diplo? Who had Diplo?
Who had Diplo? I don't recall which. Diplo was at one of these. Oprah was at Amazon's, I'm pretty sure. Nice. But I think if there are some differences here, NBCU, 100-year-old company, it's got the legacy.
Diplo's at Amazon.
Diplo is at Amazon. Netflix has got the streaming, global audience. Fox is sports and news. Amazon, commerce and content. Amazon, you get the full funnel there. You can buy the stuff on their platform.
Yeah, it's just going to be a battle. Like, who can make it the easiest on these media buyers' lives? Because media buyers are in a tough spot right now. It's the most fragmented situation ever. And it's going to be
And then we'll see another wave of retail media upfront.
Which we'll be talking about.
Right in September. We're going to be talking with Megan Graham, Wall Street Journal reporter.
Later today. Yep. All right, next up, Heinz rival wipes. Heinz.
Oh, this is fun.
Heinz
this is fun.
Heinz and Rethink, do it again. This is a long string of weird, crazy little moves by Heinz and Rethink that actually move the needle, apparently. So this one, Ross, if you're with us right now, could you pull up the rival wipes link here? Because our guy Xavier Blaise, friend of the program, pretty much they're going to games. I believe it's the Montreal Canadiens, and for the home games, they're replacing the napkins in the napkin box with opponent's jersey blocks or cloth or whatever.
I love it.
So you wipe off your face with the opponent's jersey, Gino.
That's right. It's playoffs right now. The Canadiens are up 2-1 against the Buffalo Sabres. So you see the blue and white jersey that they're using there, Jack, to rip off, to wipe your ketchup face off at the hockey game. That looks to me like a Buffalo Sabre jersey.
It is. And you would know that, obviously, because you're at the game watching the game. So it's very obvious that that's the situation. And then who's not going to be posting
it's fantastic
about it, you know?
You know, this is something that I like about Rethink. Let's talk about this.
Yeah,
this,
please.
to me, was not briefed. I'm speculating.
Oh, for sure
it
not.
wasn't like Todd Kaplan and company over at the Heinz Ketchup Company. It was like, we need to do something funny, this. We need to activate at this specific moment here. It's just the always on, I would imagine, brains of those at Rethink that just was like, I have this idea. Todd Kaplan, can we make it? And then he's like, absolutely, that's Fire Flames. That's how I
straight to the
this
top.
go.
Straight to the top.
Yes.
That's the beauty of having an always-on relationship with your agency, because then you just find yourself in more of these situations. If you have the budget, if you're like a giant like Heinz, this is the reason why you exist. This is why you have a big budget, to always stay culturally relevant. Great work. Loved it. Next one, Gino.
Very good story here. Last week we talked about GameStop putting out a $56 billion bid to buy eBay. eBay responds today? What did they say, Jack?
eBay said no thank you. Thanks but no thanks was essentially the word coming out of eBay. Gino, you have a quote here. What was the exact quote?
So eBay, in response to GameStop's bid, said this is neither credible nor attractive, just like my ex-girlfriend said about me.
That's great. I mean, coming off the heels of Ryan Cohen, CEO of GameStop, when asked how he would pay for the purchase, the acquisition, half cash, half stock.
It's so
Half
good.
cash, half stock into half cash, half stock son, or neither credible nor attractive daughter, Gina. Yeah.
I like that. Cohen said, What?
I don't know. Ellie's laughing a lot.
That's all good.
It's all good, Ellie.
I love when Cohen, the GameStop CEO, said, we'll operate eBay a lot more efficiently.
Great.
This guy is
What
just,
else could you ask for?
What is the response? Like, is this going to do well for GameStop? Do you have that finance brain still?
Well, I mean, to me, it's a win for GameStop in the sense of like you get a bunch of attention for a few days.
That's the marketing brain.
Yeah.
Does that actually increase stock though?
Well,
like,
for
these
Ryan
moments?
Cohen, CEO of GameStop, has lived off of these viral buzzy moments to raise the stock price. So I think he's following a playbook that's like, I'm gonna do some crazy shit and hope that like the Reddit people and my followers will just pump the stock up.
Yeah.
Just to make it like a meme.
His riders.
Yeah,
right.
that would be ride or die with the Ryan Cohen crew.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my guess. But one of the crazier stories, two brands that are like in interesting spots, eBay in the midst of a turnaround, and they say thanks but no thanks, Rye Guy.
Smell you later, they said. All
Next
right.
up, we got a battle of the brands, Gino. Battle of the brands.
Tee it up, Jack.
All right, so in the last 24 hours, Mac and Windows have both put out ads targeting college students in two ads that look very different, Gino.
Yes, Jack. Let's start with Mac. Why not? So it's basically all around the stressful lives of college students meeting deadlines in this commercial here made by TBWA Media Arts Lab. No surprise there. But their students are stressed out. Different scenarios where they have to meet a deadline and then they use the Mac and then the great idea starts there. They finish the deadline. They shoot, they score at the last second.
And then life is amazing. It is what it should be.
Yep.
And then Windows a little bit different, Gino. A little bit different. Twins.
You want to talk about?
Well, I mean, it's just very different. It's very kinetic. It's fast moving. It's done by Droga 5, and then of course the Mac work is done by TBWA Media Arts Lab, the dedicated agency to Apple. And for the twins, they're like going crazy. It's pretty much showcasing the fact that you can do two very polar opposite things when it comes to Windows, and then I think that they have an offer for something with like Xbox Game Pass plus Windows.
Yes.
So it's like you can be a gamer and you can also like do your work.
It's the duality of the student, Jack, between knowing that you need to do homework and hit the library and then opening up the video game or going online. And so I think Windows did a really good job of tapping into the student today. I mean, students always are stressed out. So to me, that insight is maybe a little tried.
Yeah.
And also the association between being stressed out in college and a product, I worry about that.
Yep.
Both of these ads are beautiful and well done. Like, we're just looking at them right together. They just came out within 24 hours.
I know, what a world. Do you think that when this happens, they're like, Jesus Christ, like how the hell do we pick the same day to put out the ads?
I don't know. We had a little offline argument about this, but like when things are released the same time from competitors, it draws attention to both of them.
Yeah, totally.
So it's like, I would think it's a win.
I mean, as a marketing news reporter,
it's a win for us, Jack.
It's a content dream.
And I just think with Droga 5 being, I would imagine kind of fresh, new, because they've had some changes in their agency, like I think they nailed the strategy component, that insight of the duality of the student. I think they did a great job, so nice job to
And
them.
it's
to
just,
both of them.
And it's Mac, and it's two different. I mean, you have your challenger versus your incumbent.
And I don't think Mac ever taps into gaming, so that would be weird if they tried to do that.
But it's so. I love the idea. I mean, it's so fascinating to me the way that if you are like a Mac or a Windows, if you get that college student when they're a freshman, you've got them for life usually. Like their personal
of course.
laptop is going to be that product.
You think, but doesn't that start earlier when you were growing up?
Yeah,
well, it
that's
was
true.
different for us, but like your household computer, like I don't even think you guys had household.
No,
Did you have household computer, like a dedicated room?
They don't anymore. There's my siblings, their kids, like
All have a little MacBook.
They all have iPads. So I think that you don't even need a laptop. You don't even get a laptop until you're in college. If you're in high school, your phone can do everything, or you got an iPad, or you've got like a school given, like Microsoft Surface, sort of thing. So I still think that college is like the first place to get where you get it.
usually go Mac because they have the discount for students, right?
Well, hey, I mean this is what
see.
it's all about. You talk about just.
I'd love it. And you had a fun fact about the Windows casting.
Oh yeah, it was real twins.
Awesome.
All twins. Can you imagine having to be the casting director?
I didn't know there were that many twins in the world.
Oh yeah, it's like
all
blimps.
over.
It's the same as blimps. There's like 20 in the world.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
That was a good
Gino.
2 minute
That was a good 2 minute drill.
That might be the highest rated one, 9.8.
9.8. The next thing we're going to talk about is another 9.8 out of 10 rating here, because the Adidas 5-minute film that we all watched last week was incredible. It took the internet by storm, starring Timothy Chalamet, 5-minute film. It was done by LOLA USA, Gino, a newly formed agency under Omnicom, bringing in 180 as well as Adam and Eve DDB in New York.
There we go.
And we're gonna talk about it. We got the Adidas side, we got the LOLA USA side. Let's bring him in to talk about the new Adidas film after we show the spot.
Hey, listen to me. What do I know about soccer? Nothing. I know about football. Benito football. Hey, can we hurry this up, please? Let's go.
He's asking who you've got.
Listen, bro, I have a team. They're legit. Okay, we're on the way. We're in the car right now. Thank you. Hey, can you give me 1 second? Hey, where are you? Let's go. Vamonos. Let's go. Hey, I'm coming. I'm coming. What are you doing? Tell Leo this whole thing ends today.
Hey, what's the holdup?
I need 3, Trinity. I need 3. Is he, man?
We actually going or what?
Patience.
Perfect. We're ready and waiting.
Hey, there he is. Let's go.
That's good, guys.
My dream team. Everybody know each other? Great chemistry.
Well,
Okay,
we can do
buckle
it
up.
now.
Here's the deal. We're going to a game. 3-on-3, win or go home. No referee, no rules. Street rules. Exactly. Everybody else locked in. Like when
All right,
It's time to lock in.
And then it keeps going in. Let's lock in right now. We got JD, we got Mo. Welcome to the show, both of you. How are you doing?
Very
Doing
good.
great.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, really excited to be here.
This was talk of the town last week. It's still the talk of the town. One of the best ads I've seen all year, this film here. First off, congrats to you both. Agency, brand side, working together.
I
create something
also,
dope.
really quick, want to say, I think I messed it up. Adidas.
Yes.
I apologize, Mo.
There we go.
I wanted
There
to
we
just.
go. I wasn't gonna call you out, but I know Mo had like a little vein going in his forehead there.
I just want to get that. I want to get that ahead of it so that Mo doesn't come into this being like, I'm just going to tear these guys down, because I apologize. It's Adidas, Gino.
That's right. Adidas, let's get
Everyone
into
out
it.
there, I'm also on the crusade. I'm on a crusade to make sure that everyone stateside here is saying it correctly. But enough of that.
Let me do it. Let's do a little
Yeah,
time
time out,
Let's just,
time
because
out.
this is an important interview. I just want to set the scene here because I want to talk about the campaign because it's a great working with some of these celebs too. I think that would be fun. But then I want to back it up and think about Adidas and it's
It's a big
takeover
for
time.
Adidas. It's takeover time.
So
All right,
that's my flow.
Let's
That's my
do it.
flow.
Let's do it.
ahead.
Mo, first, to start with you, how long has this been in the works?
Oh man, this is about 18 months in the works. Preparing for a World Cup starts years out. It takes a huge team. There's many hands that touch this. And if you think about product creation all the way through to marketing, brand comms, and activation on the ground, it's a really long journey. So I think we put the brief in July of 2024, and here we are, almost 22 months later, seeing the work come to life into the market.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be one of the most fulfilling things. And then to see it take off, like immediate. So like JD, I want to ask you, when you're making this, you made a lot of different ads and films, and you put things out into the world. When you all were making this, I think you obviously have a sense, like, of course this has like all the makings to really catch fire. Were you surprised by how the overwhelming like positive sentiment around it?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, when you're working on a project like this, you have a couple moments along the way that give you a little bit of a sense of where it's going, right? You think you're like, okay, we kind of got a banger. Like we saw Timmy, come alive on set. Like you never really know when you get a celeb, like, how much are they going to lean in? How much are they going to give you? And when he came in and started just laying it down the way that he did, we all really started looking at each other going, wow, this could be something special. So I think that, that was just one of many kind of moments along the way where we thought we had gold. But I've got to say, once it started to run, I stayed up. I was up at like 2:30, 3 in the morning, watching it go live in Europe. I was trading some texts with Alistair Willis over on the Adidas side, the CCO over there. He played a huge role in this film, but we were feeling it. We're seeing the responses online. And then the next morning, it was like something out of a movie, the phone just vibrating. So, a lot of people I'm sure Mo himself experienced the same thing. It was really cool to see it come alive like that.
You know, I want to pick apart the strategy. And also I had a note, since it took 18 months, if this was a baby, it would, at 18 months old, it would be able to walk well, climb on furniture, and say 3 to 10 words. Just want to let you know, like in that, just put things in perspective for you all. But what I like about this ad, and maybe the strategy that I'm picking from this, I'm picking up what you guys are putting down here, is it's not so much about like, you're actually putting power into the everyday consumer. Like this mythical this three team on the streets, random kids here. You're putting in the power of those people over the actual stars. So was that a part of this? Did you want me, the viewer, to see myself in these legends as well?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've been on a bit of a repositioning for the brand over the last 3 years. And part of that is built around this universal insight around pressure and sport, right? The expectations to perform, the expectations from those around you, whether it's society, whether it's the expectations you put on yourself. And our mission is to disarm negative pressure in sport and move people from a place where the joy has been sucked out of the beautiful game into a place where we help athletes thrive by helping them to feel free. And that's where this amazing story came to life is, what if we removed all pressure, and what if we allowed for ultimate freedom in this beautiful game? There's nothing more, you know, empowering than backyard football, playing with your friends. And what would that look like at scale? And then that gives, you know, rise to these three unexpected heroes who don't lose for 30 years. And that's the beauty of a legend, right? It gets told over and over until it takes on a life of its own. And then it takes on, you know, more important presence and culture, and it bridges the space between sport and culture in a really cool way. But the consumer's at the heart of it. And, you know, we could have made a spot where we showed elite athletes in stadiums playing performance football, but we went outside into the backyard and we humanized those athletes by allowing them to be part of the story and then have that told through culture with Timothy Chalamet. But the kids are really at the heart of it.
Yeah,
Well done.
I want to. This is the Oren John, Internet's creative director. Question of the day. Oren John, well known, hundreds of thousands of followers. I put the word out online. I said, "What do you all want me to ask these people? We're bringing them in to interview them." Oren John, this is the Oren John question. He wanted me to ask you all, how do you pull cultural insights? You just talked about it, bringing someone culturally relevant like Timothy Chalamet. What's the process? JD or Mo, whoever's best suited to answer this, pulling cultural insights for this campaign specifically.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I'm
think
happy to I'm happy to take this one, or yeah. So you know, and the reason Mo is so quick to answer that is that it's a real partnership between LOLA USA and Adidas, and we're both really trying to live in culture, and we are able to do that because we have people that actually are in the culture. You know, when I think about some of the creatives that are on this, you know, our ECD Mike Bachman, one of the world's biggest premiership soccer fans that you're going to find. And he brings a lot of nuance. You know, he brings a lot of insight, like the whole kind of exchange between Jude and Lamine when they're getting into the back seat and they kind of have that cold moment. And then Timothy follows up with, yeah, you know, oh, like, you know, loving the chemistry. Like that's coming from like living with the sport and really being knowledgeable about the sport. And then on the Adidas side, you know, when we're writing the script and bringing these ideas in, you know, they have their whole deep football vertical, like a deep bench of experts that we're sharing the work with, and you know, they're getting excited about all the nuances that we're kind of bringing to life. I mean, I could go on about this for quite a while. There's so much I want to talk about, head into the Adidas archives, but maybe we'll throw it back to you guys for a second, see where you want to take us.
Yeah, Mo, anything to add there?
Yeah, I mean, look, Adidas is the original sports brand. We've been around for 75 years. We have thousands of partners across sports marketing and culture marketing. So we have dedicated teams internally who will have existing relationships from the most grassroots and micro level all the way up to your mega stars like a Chalamet or a Bad Bunny. But at the heart of every choice, and this is about high quality choices, you want to collaborate with somebody who brings the authenticity to the story. And so Chalamet, and we all know this, right? Showing up at Knicks games, talking about his love for Saint Etienne, the French team. He and the cultural zeitgeist saying Timmy knows ball, right? So here you've got somebody with sport credibility that athletes, celebrities, and the zeitgeist acknowledge, and he has the true authenticity. He makes the perfect narrator to come in. And then you've got the same thing with Bad Bunny, somebody who creates culture, who creates movements, who has values and stands up for key things in the face of pressure, and is a symbolic figure. And it's an amazing shot in the TVC where you see Timothy Chalamet, Leo Messi, and Bad Bunny all in one shot, from film to music to sport. I don't think it could get better than that in terms of representation.
Yeah, no, nicely done. So to recap that, it's the fundamental marketing knowledge of like who is just doing well right now, who's actually making a stir in culture, but then also having people that are in the system, that are living this stuff daily, the people that you employ, like what they see, taking in their perspectives as well. Is that a fair recap?
100%. There are people who are committed and dedicated to this as a role within the brand, and without them, none of this would have been possible.
Love it.
I want to ask, because it just feels like such a formative moment for Adidas right now. And just the way the last few years just feels like absolute heater. And then you come off the marathon, where the London Marathon, you had world records broken. The best runners are all wearing the same Adidas shoe. Mo, inside the walls of Adidas right now, can you feel it? Does it kind of feel like this is a big, massive moment? We've got the World Cup. Let's do it. Let's go all the way in, and let's make a big push.
Yeah, absolutely. But this, it's a big ship. It takes a long time to turn, and this has been in the making for several years. And there's a clear vision and a clear strategy that we're executing. And now we're seeing the fruits of it, of consistency over 3 years in a row. And that's what happens when product innovation and creation, our best partners and athletes, and our great marketing and storytelling all come to the fore over and over and over. It builds an archive and a memory to the consumer of who we are and what we stand for. And you're absolutely right. I mean, in and amongst the amazing work that our football team does, our Adidas Originals team does, our running team does, we have, all pistons of the brand engine are running, and we're at full speed, and we've been plotting and planning for this World Cup moment as our moment. And now we're rising to meet history. And I think when we look back, we'll look at an unbelievable hot streak, a generational run, if you will. And you're right. Just a few weeks ago, we were here celebrating sub 2.
Yeah.
And now we've got this. So it just shows that Adidas is a brand who knows what they're doing. We have a lot of momentum. We have fantastic people working for this company, and yeah, more great things to come on the horizon.
So you're stacking like habits and wins over and over, being consistent. Like, what is the North Star for Adidas right now? If you think about positioning, what are you aiming towards? What do you want people to know?
Well, I mean, there's two parts of it. One is brand and the other is business. We want to be the number one brand, and the number one sports brand in the industry. And that comes with a financial perspective of being a great company for our shareholders, but also being an amazing company and a brand that kids are inspired by. And somebody, looks at Adidas and sees that it's relatable and that it's human and that it's inviting and that it's inclusive. And our version of sport is a sport that we want to invite people into. And those are the two things. And we've got all sorts of brand metrics that we can measure and a lot of North Star KPIs that we don't need to get into. We know them all. But it really are the two pillars of brand and business. But then I cannot underestimate, it's the people that are the heart and soul of this company that make it, a magical place to work and be a part of.
Yeah, and then I want to ask JD, the assessment, coming into this situation, it's obviously a massive moment for the newly formed LOLA agency. Stepping in here, how big is it for the agency? I mean, you come out, you form a new branding, and the first major piece of work is one of the great
Fire Flames.
One of the great things that we've seen in a long time. So what does it mean for the agency side as well, JD?
When you have an opportunity like this, I mean, this was also our World Cup, right? You're working with a partner like Adidas. they're entrusting you with, one of the biggest moments that they're going to have for their brand. It only happens once every 4 years. This happens to be the first World Cup across 3 countries, the biggest World Cup ever. And like you said, here we are, this humble little agency, and they're giving us this massive opportunity. And I think that what that did was it really turbocharged what was going on within the walls of Lola, and the level of commitment that you saw from every single person, from every single department, just kind of like leaning in and doing what it takes to create this film. You can't ask for a more energizing opportunity. And when I think about some of the stories of what people put into this, and really got to include Adidas in this as well. They're a really unique organization with the level of partnership that they bring to something like this. So you often will have a counterpart on the other side of the table, right? I have like an Alex Wieland sitting over on the other side, or they have account people, they have producers. And, this group went to Madrid. They shot for 22 days in Spain across Barcelona, Madrid, ended up, had started in Miami, then went to Spain, then came back, finished it off in Los Angeles, like in the new year. It really was all hands on deck, and everybody just pouring everything they had into this opportunity.
Yeah,
And it worked.
it's great. The chat is loving it too. People are saying, "I love this Adidas ad." Hello from Malaysia. Talking about Judy Lamine playing in Rivals, and the beef just makes sense. So the chat loves it, and it's just
I
let
mean,
you
this
guys
is great.
know.
I had to ask, I want to know what happens at the end of the film here. You left us on a cliffhanger. Can we expect a winner to be determined?
Well, I can say that part of all great storytelling is leading the audience down the road and letting you guys fill in the story. What I'd love to hear from your viewers and
Oh, here we
listeners is
go.
how would you like the story to end?
Here we go.
JD,
There it
you
is.
kinda
There it
In all
is.
seriousness, like a campaign that's this epic, that is truly legendary, it's going to go down into Adidas history. This is something that we are going to nurture and foster. And remember, we're 5 weeks out from the World Cup, and we just started this campaign. So what I can tell you is there's a lot more coming. So look out for the brand with the 3 stripes in and around the tournament, on the ground, on the airwaves. You're going to see us, feel us, and experience us everywhere.
What an incredible answer.
That's
Mo.
a good answer, Mo.
It's a great answer. Let me just.
He had to know there's always a little
There's
scoop
always a little
question,
asterisk.
not all
Mo,
easy
it was handled perfectly. We're excited to see the rest of it. I tell you what, I go on the subway, I can't look in any direction without seeing sambas on people's feet. So it's clearly penetrated, which is amazing. Congrats to you both. Appreciate you both taking the time, and excited for more from the 3 stripes.
Thank you. Great to see you
Appreciate
guys.
it, guys. Take
Nice
care.
one.
Appreciate it.
Amazing.
It's just fun stuff that we do. I was going to bring up our buddies back in Chicago having an intramural league, and they need some help, the St. George basketball team, to see if they wanted to have Adidas maybe help them out in some way, shape, or form.
Yes,
Get them a location.
Totally.
Get some gear for them. I didn't have time for that. Sorry, guys.
Also, selfish. If I want to talk about my selfish question, was going to be: Is there a way we can connect with Timothy? Can I get his phone number? Perhaps
That's coming. It's coming.
It's coming. Ellie, you were saying something real quick. All right, we're going straight into our next story.
Let's do
Our
this.
next interview is with Megan Graham.
Let me
who
tee
is-
this one
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Let me
Go
tee
ahead.
this one
Megan
up.
Graham is a major friend of the program. by the
Major
way.
friend of the program, reporter at the Wall Street Journal. Just yesterday, she put out an article on the Wall Street Journal, CMO Today. We know it's TV, like a little bit more traditional TV and streaming upfronts this week. However, she talks about retail media networks and their upfronts and what we can expect from them. So instead of looking at NBCU or an Amazon, what are some other retail media providers? Well, like maybe DoorDash might have something like that, that you can actually go to them.
Yeah.
What other ones?
Well, I've been saying you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a retail ad network, Gino. I feel like that's, you just see every week, it's like another, like Etsy or like these companies that you wouldn't expect, but it makes a lot of sense.
Like a Walmart, these are some of the companies that have so much data that they can do their own upfronts and get advertisers to spend on their specific platforms with all the data they have. We suck at this stuff. Megan doesn't. Let's bring her on. Let's try to uncover all of this. Megan Graham, how are you doing?
Hi guys, good to see you. Happy Upfront Week.
Happy Upfront
Upfront
Week.
Week.
How are you celebrating?
Oh, yesterday was a very fun but long day. Started off at NBC and ended at a Pink concert, which was very fun, but I'm a bit tired, so.
I've heard Pink
Always how
concert.
this week goes, though.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh my gosh, it's for you being able to kind of experience a lot of this. Do you see consistency in messaging based on years past? I think it's like a really hard thing for these networks to knowing that they are lined up against each other to really differentiate. I imagine for you, someone that takes it all in, you have a pretty good perspective on all this.
Yeah, I think I kind of always go in thinking, oh, I'm going to hear interesting threads of like what people are focusing on. And that has been the case occasionally, like once in a while, like especially kind of during COVID and coming out of COVID with like flexibility and things like that. But for the most part, they really just want to show advertisers a good time. Like the nitty-gritty, not sexy stuff comes in the meetings afterward, and they just want everyone to have fun and talk about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like just you got to throw a good party, you got to get people's attention. And especially this week of all weeks, oh my
Yes.
God. Like, how do you, so it's no surprise that you have the performances and all of that. And I do appreciate, like, having been to like the Yahoo upfronts. It's just they show the big stats, they show like the eye-catching things, and it's just have a great time.
Because, you know, Jack and Megan, it's like you want to work with people that you can have fun with, right? The stats are great, maybe secondary. If you could bring Shabuzi in, maybe I'll want to work with you more.
Well, that's a good transition, Megan, because it seems like in some cases, it's not humans buying media. They're pushing the agentic AI to do some of the media buying. And that brings us to kind of what you're talking about with the retail upfronts. Can we talk about that, Megan?
Yeah, of course. So this caught my eye because obviously Upfronts Week was coming up. And as you guys were saying before I came on, the networks have been proliferating like crazy. I mean, it really does feel like every single day there's a new one. I think there's hundreds at this point. I don't have an exact number. I'm sure someone does, but I think it's definitely over 200. So it's this situation where there are so many, and we've kind of reached like the next growth stage of this, right? I was thinking before coming on, I was thinking about like 10 years ago when I started covering media agencies and I was writing my first story on retail media. I think it was about Target specifically. And that year, 2016, marketers spent $1 billion on retail media networks. And this year, they're going to spend $72 billion. So that is an insane amount of growth in a short amount of time. So it's interesting to see them now coming together and saying, like, here's what we have that's different. Because I think what the interesting story is here is that Amazon has 80% market share. So which makes sense, right? Because they have so much consumer data. They have such a close relationship with so many consumers. So it makes sense that they would be the one that the most marketers are spending the most with, but everyone else is kind of fighting for what remains of that 20%. So this is kind of what they're trying to do, is say, this is what we can do. This is, the audiences that maybe you can get here that are different. And so this is a moment for them to kind of come ahead of buyers and marketers and say, here's what makes us different. Here's what we can do for you.
So who are some of those in the 20% that are, showing up, making a big splash, trying to get more percent there? Who are some of those players?
Well, Walmart is notable then because it has about 9%. So that's actually like a big extra additional cut, which also makes sense, right? Because Walmart is a massive, massive marketer. But then the remaining ones, we have like the Albertsons and the DoorDashes and the Krogers of the world, which they have great businesses that are, very respected and growing, but they're still kind of have such a small piece of the pie here. So I think that they're looking at how are we going to grow that? Because what we're now hearing from analysts and experts and what have you, they're saying, this is going to be kind of existential in the next phase here because no marketer. So when I wrote that first story I mentioned like 10 years ago, marketers were working with 4 retail media networks on average. And that number has only gone up to 6 on average. So you would think in all of those years with this huge proliferation, like they would be like, okay, well, I went from working with 4 to working with 20, maybe, right? But that's not the case because as you guys know, well, no marketer at this point is looking for additional complexity. They're looking to simplify. So they're not wanting to work with a ton of these. So it doesn't matter how high that number gets. The number that they're working with is not going to rise to that level, at least not for the majority of marketers.
So to me, is a big part of it, is the performance just that much better when it comes to working with retail, and like that's why there's being maybe shifting of budgets where it's like the Amazon ads are just pumping.
Yeah, no, it's such a good question. I'm sure you guys hear variations on this theme all the time. I certainly do. It's that marketers are just in the necessity for them to prove out the value of every dollar they're spending is so huge, and the pressure right now. So it's tough for them to go more the brand route when they're like, I know I spent this $1 and it did this and it generated this sale. And when you have that, you have pressure from CFOs and boards and what have you saying, well, if we know that this is creating, this kind of result, and you can't explain to me when I have this other, more brand focused, whether it's, I don't know, like more brand social or more TV or whatever, more of the kind of traditional brand efforts, it's harder. But not to like veer off too crazy in this territory, but there's like such a balance, right? Like we know every brand that has over-indexed on performance has eventually said, we messed up and we have to go back and build a brand, because you can only take performance so far before you're just begging people to buy your stuff, right? They're giving stuff away. There's discounting and there's,
She's
whatever you
preaching.
can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they always eventually kind of come back to center. So anyway, what retail media networks are now trying to do is they're like, we've got that kind of performance piece of it, and that's like those budgets are definitely coming to us. They're now trying to do more of that brand stuff. So I'm sure you guys have seen like on Amazon, you'll see kind of like a big kind of banner type placement where it's not super, like it's more visual, more beautiful, more of like a branding effort. Like I went on Amazon today and it was showing it's a swimsuit brand, and they had like beautiful gifs and models and everything. And this is not performance advertising. This is a branding effort, and this looks more like what their website would look like rather than, just a sponsored listing, which is kind of where this first went.
And
If that makes sense.
it seems like it's happening on the opposite side too of these, like the streaming is like trying to figure out how to get like the lower conversion as well, where you can click on something when you see it on your smart TV. So it's like they're all trying to cover.
Center.
They're all coming to center. It seems like.
Well, it seems. I think they all just want to get more of a piece of the pie in that chain of marketing. It's like how much can you control in that chain to get as much value as possible.
And right now we're seeing a majority of. There's more dollars now in going towards retail media networks than these more traditional TV upfronts. Is that correct, Megan?
Yeah, that was a number from WPP's forecast for this year, and they said, that I think they said retail media would increase. I think this was globally to 174 billion, which would outpace TV ads this year, it is remarkable, right? Because this is kind of just a moment in time that it's interesting. But I do, like I said, like I do think there's going to be some sort of normalization with this, but that is why they are very concerned with how do we do the brand stuff too, because they know that the brands that are spending with them want that piece as well, and that it only goes so far on the marketing performance side.
I don't have all these streamings services.
Yeah, a lot of people do though. A lot of people do. Like they've got the whole bundle.
You got the whole bundle.
Yeah,
Megan?
Meg, let's get your streaming appetite.
Yeah.
We have literally everything.
Okay.
It's disgusting. We watch every night. It's like HBO, Netflix, Prime, BritBox, Hulu. Literally, I don't think there's a single one that we don't have.
Is there like a service that gives you all of them at once? Like you can click one, you get like a bundle discount on all of them?
No, dude. That's the whole point. The whole point is that you can't do that.
I don't think so.
That would just be cable,
It's just
right?
cable. Yeah, we're literally just going back to cable.
Is the cable like?
I know.
You get cable now.
Meg, are you a subscriber to this belief? There's some people out there that are saying like we're just gonna end up back at cable.
Well, I don't know, because there are some people who I think are very very much like my parents, for instance. They're like, we're gonna do this for 1 month and then we're done with it, and then we're gonna do. But I feel like our demographic is not like that. Like we want everything when we want it. So
Right.
maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, it just isn't as practical anymore. I don't know. Cable would have to change things, but
When is
streaming just feels more and more like cable every day, especially with the amount of ads that come up.
Yeah, because I thought it used to be you paid to not have the ads. That was a while ago.
Yeah,
but
a long time ago.
But when does right now we're in the more traditional TV upfront this week, and when is the retail media week, if there is one?
It's a day, and I believe it's early September. I think it's the 2nd. I don't want to stake my life on that, but I believe it's the 2nd. It's very early in September. So they'll have, a number of these companies come up and present for 20 minutes or so. I don't know if they've said for certain. And then their hope is that marketers and like the big buyers will come in, and those people too, like I said, like they don't want to be having to have all of these meetings. And then a lot of these retail media networks have their own upfront, like Home Depot has one on their own where they have, marketers come in and learn about them. And marketers are happy to do that, but they can't do 30 of those, right? So this is a moment for them to make the most of their time. If they're making one trip to New York, they can have a day of it and not have, 30 different meetings and decide what makes sense for us to budget in the year ahead.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting more and more complex. It feels like in your time covering all of this, it's just, is it going to get too complex to a point where you'll see shrinking of the amount of different ways, or because of fragmentation of media, classic buzz phrase, is it just going to get more and more sophisticated, and the technology to match the sophistication will just have to get better?
It's such a good question, and I don't really know. It was interesting in 2021. I wrote a story about how all of this benefited agencies so much because they were really relying on their agency partners to say okay, there's a million new tech companies doing a million new things. There's retail media. There's just all this stuff that is new for us as marketers. So that was such a bright spot moment. So I do think this will continue to benefit specifically media agencies because they're the ones that they're doing all the research. They're doing what, we're doing and figuring out what makes sense and what's growing and what's hot and whatever. So I do think that will be an important link in all of this because I don't know if it will continue. I think it only ever continues to get more complex, and especially with AI happening. So who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see it with the holding companies. It feels like it's a lot of focus on those media accounts, and they are billion-dollar billings that they're accounts that they're handling. So it all just kind of filters down. It starts with where's consumers' attention at, and then everyone tries to retrofit themselves into it, and then that's where the money goes. But it's amazing.
I also feel just as a consumer, I feel because so much of this, and I wonder if you guys agree, it's because so much of this is sponsored, it's tougher than ever to determine what I want to buy, right? Because what do I trust? If something is the most relevant for me, and then you're that's not relevant at all. Why is this here?
Yeah.
There's gonna be, I think, a bit of a mistrust of when we're browsing this stuff. You're gonna be okay, the top 10 things are sponsored, and I don't even know how. I think the marketers have to be so careful in deploying this stuff because they're gonna lose people and be I'm gonna find somewhere where I know I'm finding the thing that's what I want and not the listing that paid the most, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
right.
You keep scrolling. It's still on Amazon. It's still sponsored.
Yeah.
You would hope that the technology gets better and the systems get better. What's sponsored is super relevant, and I don't think that connection will ever be made to a normal consumer where the data and the personalization makes the most relevant thing sponsored as well. I don't think they'll ever connect those dots.
My take is that just thinking about the way that TV went, it's just a matter of consumers just deal with it, you just have to deal with it. The way the commercial breaks, there's just more and more commercial breaks, and there's just nothing that really changed other than the fact that consumers, that you just saw the value of a TV commercial but just become less and less and less valuable over the years that there's more and more and more TV commercials. So it's almost that is kind of the road that they're going down. With these retail networks, it's more and more sponsored stuff. And then the more things that are sponsored, inherently the less valuable those sponsored moments are because there's 1,000 other ones right there. So
Yeah.
that would be my feeling towards it.
Yeah, or are we just going to make, a premium option for people who want to avoid all of this and just say, I want everything relevant. I don't want any ads, which I don't know.
Yeah.
Or you go in person.
Yeah, or you go in
Or
person.
you go in person, the malls come back.
Yeah.
But what's funny about this is that so much of this retail media is just offline, the offline world created for the online world. Like, I don't think many consumers know when you walk into a grocery store how much marketers have spent on shopper and trade marketing to put the checks, cereal where they're most likely to buy it. And so that is interesting because it is stuff that has always happened, but
you're saying we can't escape it, Megan.
You can't escape
it. It's everywhere. Sorry.
Sorry.
Deal with it. No, yep.
Megan Graham, thank you so much for joining the show.
Guys.
Always
So
a
good to
pleasure.
see you.
Great to see you too. We have your I don't know if you can see it, the article from the Wall Street Journal prominently displayed.
Oh, that was
So,
such a fun one.
It was
I'm
the
so
best.
glad.
It was the best day ever. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate
Thank you so
Guys,
much.
talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye.
That was Megan Graham, Gino.
The best.
Speaking of retail upfronts, and I think the big takeaway, you can't escape it. You can't escape the ads. We wouldn't want it any other way.
No, I know. It's the best. And upfront season, I think we're going to be due for our own little upfronts, world's smallest upfront award, world's smallest upfront by break entering.
The next thing that we're going to talk about, voicemails. Gino, you submitted, and we're going to talk about it. Your voicemails, your ideas for brands. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna listen to some voicemails users submitted. We've got a ton of people that have submitted their ideas for brands, and we're gonna listen to them, give our reactions, and send it out to some marketers, some CMOs probably. They'll see it and have their thoughts too. Ross, are we ready to go with the first voicemail?
Hey, my name is Reese Daniels. I have this idea for a commercial for a soap or degreaser company. I think a lot of these ads are usually product oriented, so I have something that sticks out a little bit more of a viral marketing campaign idea. The commercial begins as a normal demonstration of the product, and then halfway through it's talking about how it's tough on grease, and then we see a soliloquy where you have a guy in a soap costume, like a mascot type costume, and then a guy in a grease costume, and it's like a soliloquy like Whiplash where he's really being tough on grease, like really screaming in his face and being like mentally manipulative and loud. And it's funny and it's like it's really high conflict, and I think it's the kind of thing where you're watching this normal ad and then it shifts into something that's completely memorable and ridiculous and off the walls and absurd. So that's my idea.
Tough on grease, Gino. What do you think?
I like that. I like the Whiplash comp there. Not quite my speed, not quite my tempo.
Yeah,
And
just like the crap out of someone.
Hey, did you see those AI? Like there was like these. It was kind of went viral on TikTok. It was like an AI state, like Illinois yelling at Indiana.
Oh no, I didn't see
You ever
this.
seen that? It was yelling at. That came to mind. If that doesn't.
Tough on grease, and you get some people beating the crap out of each other. That idea alone works because of the physical aspect of it. Physical comedy always hits, Gino. And you got tough on grease. He made a good point though. Reese made a good point. It is typically a product demo. Those, you think about ShamWow, you think about Billy Mays. It's always the person, and they show it, the before, the after. I like the idea. Let's just you're tough on grease. Let's beat the shit out of grease.
Yep, I like it. And maybe we get like John Travolta.
Yeah, there you go.
Grease.
Just combine.
We just yell at John.
Combine different ideas.
Just yell at John Travolta. What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to?
Tough on grease would be like you're sitting in the movie theater watching the film and you're critiquing it the whole time.
You're
critiquing the movie Grease. Our product is tough on grease.
Yeah. Well, Mark Pritchard is a friend of the program.
We'll tag him, P&G.
We'll definitely tag him. Tough on grease. Something to think about.
Last, I thought here, do you think that Reese was inspired by the fact that his name rhymes with the word grease?
Yes, Reese.
Reese is tough on grease. Reese could be like the brand mascot.
Yes.
Good shit, Reese. That's the first voicemail. I like that one. Next one. Let's pull it up.
What's happening? Breaking and entering. I love you guys. Okay. I have an out-of-home advertising idea, and it could be good, or more likely it's the silliest thing anyone is going to pitch to you. So let's get it. All right. I think, Jack, last year you were at a Yankee game talking about out-of-home advertising. So that's where we are today. We're talking about MLB opportunities for out-of-home advertising spaces. All right, now you may notice if you watch baseball that they sell actual space on the pitcher's mound. They do it all the time. Sometimes it's actually painted on the mound. Sometimes it's virtual, and they swap it out from inning to inning. So here's the idea. For the Hershey's brand, Mars uses mounds. So Hershey's put mounds on the mound. Get it? So on the mound, it says mounds. All right, I'll show myself out. Take care.
Jane,
Play on words. It's a play on words.
it's just a great energy there. Great guest, and what a throwback to the Yankee game last year.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. So thanks for being a long time listener, Jane. What do you think of this, Jack?
I love this because sometimes all the passion in the world can help get an idea sold, Gino. You think about mound on mounds, it's just a play on words. And sometimes the passion and the delivery of it is the thing that can get it over the edge. That's my take on it.
How can you hate
Can
this
you see it?
How can you hate this idea from somebody that's just having so much fun? I
Mounds,
agree with you, Jack.
mounds on mounds.
At the MLB games, you have a little icon, little brand
They
logo.
do this. They do this. They like
Virtual-
they'll digitally just slap it on.
Yeah.
Mound on mounds.
And I believe mounds have coconut in them. Is that what it's kind of? Yeah.
This feels like something that we could pitch the Savannah Bananas.
Oh yes, we will be tagging the Savannah Bananas for this.
So mound on mounds. Ross, did you have any thoughts on that one?
I'll think about the bananas.
Bananas peel. Peel on peel. I don't understand what you're talking about. Like Jordan Peele, like the. Mounds.
Mounds on mounds. Let's make that
Hey,
happen.
let's make it happen.
That's
All
the
right.
type of energy we like to hear.
We'll do one last voicemail. We'll listen to it. We'll just do one more voicemail, and we'll play it now.
Hey, Hotline. This is Mike from Callan. Had an idea. Actually, I think my dad had it first. Shout out, Dad. College football bowl games recently have been really fun spaces for brands to play. Really creative things like Pop-Tarts, edible mascot, Duke's Mayo, dumping mayonnaise all over the winning coach. Just some fun things happening, and had an idea around a new kind of bowl game where maybe you take the worst two teams from the college football season and pit them together in what we would call the toilet bowl. And that game would be played in Flushing Meadows, New York. And, Kohler, American Standard, any major toilet brand could get behind this. Seems like a no-brainer. Maybe the trophy is a big golden toilet, something like that. Seems like it might get some eyeballs. I don't know. That one's free. Toilet brands, get at us. Thanks.
Mike from Callan.
A new bowl game to be presented as an idea to the NCAA.
Getting a brand like Kohler to sponsor the toilet
In
bowl.
Flushing Meadows.
Yeah.
There's a consistent theme here. People love wordplay.
Yeah.
People love wordplay, but it's also the quickest and fastest way to convey an idea and communicate it. The toilet bowl. Would you tune in to see the worst two teams in college football play a game, Gino?
Absolutely, Jack. I mean, if it was branded well, if like what Weber Shandwick did for the Pop-Tart Bowl and the spectacle that they created, I would absolutely, if they had something similar like that, I would definitely tune in.
Proof in the concept with the Savannah Bananas, again, coming back to it.
Yep.
Another Savannah Banana mention. That's our fourth this episode.
We're not sponsored by that.
It kind of has proof in the pudding. If you can just create something that's fun, I would love to see like halftime, you just, I don't know, you got some like turds run on the field, and it's like the turd race.
Turd race.
Yeah.
Simple.
Turd race. Easy. Turtle race. And the concept of the two worst teams playing is pretty funny to me. Would the teams agree to it? Would they be okay with the fact that that the whole point of them playing is because they both suck that much?
Maybe not. Maybe if there's money involved in NIL.
Yeah, they're definitely.
would.
If you get enough brands, if you're giving brands, you're gonna give them you get a free toilet, free plumbing for a lifetime if you win.
Yeah.
free plumbing for your athletic facilities for a lifetime if you win the toilet
Now,
bowl.
a plumbing company would be nice. I was thinking about if I'm the brand sponsor of a Kohler, let's say, like, do I want to be associated with the two worst teams? And like, maybe not. I was thinking like maybe a toilet cleaner, like a Clorox type brand would want to sponsor and clean out the crap teams.
Yeah, they're doing the lawn mowing. They're cleaning up the toilet bowl.
Yes.
The custodial services are brought to you by Windex.
Yeah, Windex, and I like a plumbing company too.
Yeah.
To sponsor the toilet bowl, get a couple here. I don't know.
The toilet bowl, I love.
Shout out to
gimmicks.
Mike's dad.
Shout out to Mike for giving credit where credit's due.
Yes.
Shout out to Mike's dad. Just a great guy, I've heard.
Who are the worst teams in? Would it be? It would be Division One.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
you pick like Division I worst teams. Whoever finished last worst records.
Yeah.
The idea of going to it,
Free tickets for the loser of the fantasy team. Like
what?
You know how you like people in fantasy football or like they have like the loser.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you do a promotion where it's like send the worst guy to the toilet bowl, but that doesn't feel like a punishment.
But we punish them in some way, shape, or
We
form.
bring them out on the field and everyone just kind of like throws tomatoes at them. Yeah. Back in the day, when the Oakland A's were the worst for a long time, I think they're moving currently or they're about to move. But at the last game of their stadium, when they were so bad, the fans all hated the owner, so no one would ever go to the Oakland A's games. They in a counter protest, all the Oakland A's fans went to one game. They decided they would go to one random game to prove that they would go to games if their owner wasn't such a piece of shit.
There we go.
And so there's proof in a movement around a team, and the A's were terrible. A movement of people being like, we're gonna go just because it's a communal moment. Get the community together. I think that there's legs for the toilet bowl. I think the toilet bowl idea is my big winner for today.
Nice. I love it. Well, thank you to Mike's dad, and everybody that submitted. Jane, who was the first one? Reese, Tough on Grease.
Yeah, Reese, Tough on Grease is pretty good too. Mounds on Mounds is funny. And just another batch of great voicemails, great ideas. Shout out to the brave and courageous people willing to share their ideas live on TV.
If you have an idea that you want to share with us for a chance to be shown on the show, and to marketers, call 929-486-1040. Let it ring. Let it go to voicemail.
What was that number again?
929-486-1040.
One more time.
929-486-1040.
That's 929 breaking. No, it's not.
No.
It's not. I wish. I think I could make that happen.
Call it, let it ring. Let it go to voicemail. Leave that voicemail there. You can say your name. You don't have to say your name. You can say your agency. You don't have to say your agency.
Do whatever you want.
Whatever you freaking want.
Another great episode, Gino. We're gonna get into the post show now. So if you don't want to talk or hear about our personal lives or what else we do outside of this show, you are excused. Thank you for joining. We're back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time live from Mirren. Mirren Live, Gino. Mirren, the conference, great conference here in New York City, bringing together ad agency professionals, a lot of new business talk. We're going to be there posted up live with the conference behind us. It's going to look really cool, and we're going to be interviewing the best of the best from the conference for the live show. Shout out to Mirren Live, hosted and presented by Mirren. Go check out Mirren, Mirren. Let's get into the post show.
Can't wait for that tomorrow, Jack. Feeling good here. Yesterday, we were at the Young Ones Awards show by the One Club. Had a lot of fun there. A lot of energy from the student winners all in one room last night. A special shout out to BYU. Those guys get crazy.
Oh, the kids were loving it.
If
you saw me take a tequila shot at the Young Ones Club last night, no, you did not.
No, you did not.
You cannot. You will never catch me. It was a blast. I mean, the Sony Hall. Just like pretty much the event is like seemingly a million young creatives there accepting awards for the work that they submitted to the One Club Young Ones. And
Great
it's just like the best energy. Yeah.
Global presence. South Korea was in the house.
There's people from Europe, Denmark, Sweden, I believe. It looks like you were pulling up some archival footage. I mean, this is like a sneak preview. We're gonna make a video, and I think it's gonna pretty much look like those Side Talk New York Knicks outside MSG videos, because these kids were electric, and I could not help but party with them. Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just loving
you're
this.
in there. Yeah.
These
You're in there.
really good visual. But yeah, appreciate the One Club. We're going to be at the One Club, One Show on Friday night, which I love the idea of it being on a Friday night.
It's the best. Yeah. No holding back.
What were your thoughts on last night?
Last night?
You're champion for the young ones.
I mean, so talented. Like, these are some of the best. Like I said, it's a global competition. People flew in from South Korea to go to this, and seeing like truly the best in one room celebrating. I will tell them, if you're watching this now, this will not be your last award show and celebration. Many more to come in your careers. A lot to look forward to for you all.
Yeah, I love talking with like the professors as well, the people that are shaping and molding the minds of the new generation, and they seem positive. They seem excited. Alabama's Mark Berry said, "Next year, watch out."
I like that.
Which I love. I love like the preseason press conference.
Yes.
And he's like,
Yep.
the team this year is amazing. It's great. Next year, watch out.
Watch out.
Watch out.
I love it.
These portfolios are elite.
Yeah.
Anything else from you, Gino?
Nope. That's all I got.
Okay.
Jack. Anything
Gino's
you?
got to get out of here. Gino's got to roll. He's going.
That's all I got.
Anything from the producers? Ross?
Yeah, nothing. How about you, Jack? What do you got cooking?
Ross, go ahead.
Oh, I have nothing.
Oh, okay, great. That's the show. I got nothing else. Appreciate everyone. Like I said, we're live at Mirren tomorrow. Mirren live. We'll be at here in New York City. I think there's still some virtual spots open if you want to virtually attend the conference. It's all about new business. It's, from what we've heard, the most actually beneficial in terms of like learning that you can get. So if you're in the new business world, or if you're an agency and you're a new business person, wants some further education to hear from the best of the best when it comes to pitching, winning new business, and marketing your agency, highly suggest you check out Mirren, because they're bringing us. Tomorrow's show is going to be presented by Mirren at Mirren. Wednesday, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. We will see you then.